okay?
Okay.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the American Dream. Today we have two distinguished American citizens who have served their country well. First is Michael Sweeney, who's the Director of Veterans Affairs for the City of Lynn. Michael was in that job. He left temporarily to go serve in Afghanistan, and then he came back. So we applaud your service, Michael. And we applaud what you do for the people of Lynn as Director of the Veterans Services. And we also have John Sacherski, who's Commander of VFW Post 1240, and he's Chairman of a parade committee. And if you notice the title of this show, it's We Love a Parade, which we all do. So let's talk about the parade. When is it?
Michael, you want to take that?
Yeah, it's going to be September 16th at noon. Anyone who remembers a parade we did in Lynn in 2013, it's the exact same parade route. It's going to go down Western Ave, starting down on Federal Street. It's going to be an incredible parade. I think we can safely say, I mean, there were thousands of people in that parade. In the parade, and it was just, for people who, I've grown up in Lynn my whole life, it was one of the best days I've ever seen in the city. It was, and anyone who remembers it, I think, remembers it similarly. And we're happy to be able to do it again. And John Sacherski, he's the chairman of the parade, and I think we're thrilled to have him decide to do it again here in Lynn. And I think it's going to be a great moment for the city to come together and really honor the people who won the uniform over the years for the city of Lynn. And,
Good.
And because it's a North Shore parade, it really, you'd be surprised, people from all over the state are coming down to this thing.
That's great. And John, you were in two branches, the Army, and then you transferred to the Marines.
That's correct.
Okay. When was that?
Oh, we've got to go back to the 60s. Then I was in Vietnam.
During the Vietnam War.
Yeah, and then I was in Vietnam in 68.
Yeah, okay.
A lot of the other guys that I grew up with. A great majority of the city of Lynn guys that I grew up in, and some of the girls all went to serve in Vietnam in those eras, and then came back.
Right. So where's 1240, VFW 1240?
1240 is on 8 Pine Street in Swampscott. I've been a member there for over 30 years. 17 years ago, I had the honor of taking over as the post commander there, and it's been a treasure to work there with the people in the town of Swampscott and everybody else to keep that going.
Good. My brother-in-law, Norman Thibodeau, is active with the Franco-American vets. He served in Korea. Yeah, he's great. Yeah,
And the Franco and all the Lynn posts are going to be involved in this as well. The Franco, we've had meetings.
Well, who will be involved?
Everybody. I mean, if you want to talk to who's on the committee right now, John. But
well, when you say everybody, this is considered the North Shore Veterans Appreciation Day Parade, Jim, which means that entitles Beverly, Salem, Gloucester, Peabody, Revere, Salem, on and on and on. All these communities from all over will send different units to march and represent their town or their city in this parade. So that's
these
why
are all XGIs that are coming. You're talking
XGIs and GIs of today.
Right. Okay.
Will be marching with their colors.
And bands.
We will have.
Gotta have bands. Man.
We'll probably have approximately anywhere between 20 to 25 bands alone.
Wow.
imagine that, yeah.
Wow.
That would be pipe and drum, high school bands, university bands. We just get on the phones and we make a lot of phone calls at this time and get all over the place, and we get great reviews in this, but we still, it's a lot of work. There'll be tanks, there'll be trucks, there'll be all kinds of armored vehicles, on and on and on will be in that parade. Huskies, you name it. Reenactment from the Korean War veterans will be in there. There'll be floats.
So Norman will be there.
Oh,
yeah.
And we've been lucky to point to
Submariners, the Constitution.
Yeah.
Hopefully the Navy band will be there to represent us, and on and on and on in that respect.
And there's an opportunity for people who aren't able to march to be in the parade as well. What we've done over the last few parades, and John frankly demanded it, and we were able to make it happen here with people like Paul Crowley from Gliss is committed to doing the same thing they did last time, which is have vehicles for people who want to be in the parade but can't do it themselves to ride in the parade. So a lot of your veterans who may not be able to march or be a part of it, we're going to have trolleys It is, and last time we had
right.
it's such a beautiful thing to watch. People would
They were thrilled.
Yeah, and to be honored in the way they were, whether they're Vietnam veterans, Korea, World War II. You know, we're trying to, and we want to make sure that people feel welcome to come down. And because I think in America, there's so few people that serve today. I mean, they say like 1/2 of 1%, less than 1/2 of America serves. And there's only 7% of the country are veterans. So I think we always say we're never going to forget your service, but I think this is a real tangible way to get out there and show that that's true. And I think for people, I can't imagine someone who served in World War II having the opportunity to drive down the street of a city they grew up in and to watch people salute them. I think
Norman was on that bus going down Western
Yes.
Avenue. At the corner of Western Avenue and Franklin Street.
Yes, he
His whole
was.
family was there.
Because they were all in front of the Franco. I remember they were all,
to greet him. Yeah,
that was great.
So that's great service.
And we're going to involve Gold Star families as well. Jane Cahill, who you probably know, she's been very active with the Gold Star families from Vietnam to make sure that they're able to come down. And we had the last one in 2013. We had before the parade, there was an event for Gold Star families to come down.
Wonderful.
And again, John, we talk about it all the time, just people who you know and you see every day in the city of Lynn or around. I mean, everyone knows that there are veterans and families all around, but when they can come down and really be honored, people then are surprised that, oh, I didn't know that he was related to this family or that family. I didn't know you served in Vietnam. And I think it's an opportunity for us to come together, remind each other why, what makes America great.
Okay. So this is September 16th?
Yeah.
What time?
It's going to be noon. We're going to start it at noon.
Noontime.
And it goes down, starts at Federal Street?
It'll come right down Federal Street, come right down Western Avenue, Jim, come up over the hill, and it'll go back by Lucia Lighting, which will be a pass and review stand for everybody to sit in. All the officials will be sitting up there, and families and Gold Star parents, and on and on and on will be going there, and there will be a pass and review stand where they'll stop and make their salute to that, and then march on after that.
March on where?
They'll march right down the street, and they'll take a right into Lynn English High School, where there'll be the tanks and all the trucks for all the kids to go and meet veterans and get on the trucks and talk to them, which is fantastic.
Great fun, yeah.
And then we will also, this is very important, we'll also be serving pizza and stuff to all the people that are working in the parade in Lynn English High School.
And the Boy Scouts are going to be selling hot dogs?
And the Boy Scouts will be out on the ground with other people selling hot dogs, because we figure it's a good community service at the same time.
Right.
And the Boy Scouts can make some money and help
They get to
their
keep all the
organization
money.
out.
So for every hot dog they sell, the profit goes to the Boy
Every
Scouts?
hot dog they sell, all the profit, every penny goes to that Boy Scout unit.
And
Absolutely.
Are they going to sell the hot dogs all along the route?
No, that is one of the things we have to be careful of, because we have to be insured for that day. So we have a policy, I think it's $1 million. We're insured for that one day, because God forbid any child should run out in the parade and get hurt, or there's a balloon that the kid's chasing or something like that. So we try to discourage that until down there on the parade grounds, where everything will be taking place after the parade. They can get a balloon or whatever else they want.
But not along the route?
We try not to have that done.
Teresa would be brokenhearted.
Well, I understand that, but
You know who Teresa
I
is,
did
right?
know
Okay,
Teresa.
yeah, I
Yes,
did
for
too,
many years ago. I can remember the balloon lady. As a young kid growing up.
Yeah.
She was at many parades.
She was, yeah.
But
So what about, how do you pay for this? You're going to have a fundraiser?
we do fundraisers. We start this fundraiser 2 years ago. This has been in the works for 2 years now with me, Michael, Captain Castanetti, Sergeant Major Oswald, Dave Solimini, who was huge for us, Tom Dill, Jane Cahill.
Representative Cahill's mom.
Yes, she's huge. And on and on. And Linda Cappany, who was the president of...
She's the president of the Gold Star Wives of New England. And and actually Karen Lounsbury is president of the Gold Star Moms of Massachusetts.
Don't leave anybody out.
No,
now.
that's how many people have been involved.
There
It's really,
is-
it's incredible. We won't miss somebody. That's how
there
many
is
people
so
are
many.
involved.
I know.
It's like the
It's like,
Grammys. You
yeah,
miss
I hate
people,
to
but
do
it's
it,
really,
right, yeah.
Mike Sweeney's wife, who does a phenomenal job for us. My wife, who helps, and just a ton of women in the background who've just been doing this with me for 15 long years. Some got out, and when we decided to do this one, we got phone calls left and right from all of them. They're all coming back to do one more. And
That's great.
Members of the post just really work
amazing.
hard, yeah.
It was amazing to have those phone calls and to be reelected to do this again.
Are you getting new veterans in to the VFWs?
We are. They're coming in slowly but surely. We are in Swampscott. I know that some other places are also. But you have to remember, like when guys came back from Vietnam, they didn't want much to do with veterans or this or that or anything else. You know, they wanted to build their families, go to work, get jobs, and this and that. You know, and I think slowly but surely, I think that they'll come back and hopefully that they'll take over and run this place.
What
So it should be
about
running.
the more recent wars, Iraq and Afghanistan?
Yes, they're coming. We've got like 5 or 6 or 7 in the last year have signed up in my post.
Good. Well, they play an important role, as you know. In
Absolutely.
The country.
Absolutely.
And I think what we're trying to do here is that anyone who's listening, we want them involved in the parade.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes people get, because you say guys coming home, people coming home now, what every veteran's ever done, they're building a life, right?
That's right.
For something like this, hey, come down and do what you can do. If you want to just come down and march on that day, I mean, I know people have commitments with young kids and families and work, but this
Well,
isn't...
what a place to take young kids, though.
Yeah, oh, for the parade, absolutely. But even for people who want to be involved in marching the parade, we'd love to have what we're hoping to have is a big contingent of veterans who served since 9/11 to come down and march and really allow people to give people the opportunity to say thank you. Because I mean,
Right.
we talk about it. I mean, people forget that we're actually a country at war still.
Right.
I mean, when I was in Afghanistan, people asked my wife, they would be surprised asking her if we were still over there. I mean, it's not in the news every day because everything else is.
Right.
And for the people who serve today, their families serve with them, come on down, enjoy the day. I think it might be the beginning of getting them in to be more involved in other events and maybe come down to posts and feel more welcome. Because I think the welcome is there. I just think that we haven't had the opportunity to really connect sometimes.
And your office provides great service to veterans in the community. But before we go to that, let's go back to how you pay for say $60,000, is that what
It's about $60,000 because of the cost of bands and police departments and details and on and on and on and on and on with the cost. I mean, an average band can cost anywhere between $1,500 to $5,000 for 4 hours. So we raise money, and we go to all the big guns. We go to GE, we
Like
go to
Dave Salamini.
Eastern Bank, and Donald Wong, who is absolutely huge in what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's putting his family, who owns Kowloon's,
Right.
is putting on a show March 9th for us at Kowloon's. And,
Oh, that's the fundraiser you're going to
that's the fundraiser night, and we're going to be $35 a ticket there, and hopefully that will raise some more money. So we continuously try to raise money every way possible we
So
can.
here's your chance to raise money. How do you get people to go to that? Donald Wong's Kowloon's on March 9th. At what time?
It's at 7 o'clock.
Chinese food.
It's a comedy show plus Chinese food included in that ticket for $35. And the proceeds from that, part of the proceeds from that will go to the Veterans Parade.
And anybody
Can come.
Oh, absolutely.
We have 200 tickets out there, and we're hoping to do a sellout on that. It's a Friday night, and I think it's just a great night. You know, it's a great night to take your wife out for Valentine's. Valentine's. Well, I mean
St. Patrick's Day.
If you messed up, you may want to still take her out for Valentine's at that point. Yeah. If you messed up, that may be part of the package of what you
That
have
might
to
be
do.
part of the package stuff. But we hope to raise money to the big guns that have donated over the years, like the GE has been very generous to us. Eastern Bank has been very generous to us.
So will they have tables at that event on March 9th at Kowloon's?
Yes.
Okay. And
So-
will you have an ad book?
We're still thinking about that, but what we're definitely doing right now is just pushing the tickets. I'm not sure how much we may do an ad book. We may sell some things there that will go to the parade. But I think what we're hoping for now is anyone who has any questions about buying tickets, they can contact the Post 1240. They can contact my office. It's on on Facebook, and it's really, I think not only is it going to raise money for a good cause, it'll be a fun night. It'll be a really fun night.
How many people at a table?
Actually, it's 200 tickets total, different size tables, so it's going to be.
Right,
Yeah.
It's going to be, and I'll tell you, again, going back to thanking Don Juan, because they're allowing us, the proceeds are going, a lot of the proceeds are
He's
going,
just
they
amazing,
give us a
yeah.
good deal so we can raise some money on it. And he didn't have to do that. It was really generous. And we've been had that sort of support up and down.
He's
It
a
really
state
is.
representative from Saugus, right?
He is, yeah.
Yes, he is.
So, but,
Let people know that.
yeah, and he's done a good job, and we've been really lucky across the board with our elected officials too. I know the state delegation, City Council, Mayor McGee, everyone is just thrilled to be a part of this. I think what we have to do now is about getting the word out and really making
Well,
sure.
McGee's father was part of that contention that went up to Iwo Jima.
Oh, right. Yeah,
Yeah.
He was one of the reasons when he was speaker that voted for today as we approach Iwo Jima Day next week. It's important to mention that was I know Speaker McGee was one of the ones who was critical in making that a law in Massachusetts in a day of honor. And anyone who, what do they say, uncommon valor was common that day, is the
Right.
line. It was just incredible. But yeah, absolutely. So, but I think across the board, everyone is just really supportive of this, and we're just trying to hopefully channel that into some fundraising and people participating in the parade.
Father Parade.
I think Tom McGee is going to be huge for us. You know, I talked to Tom privately about some issues, and Tom says, whatever you need, whatever I can do. So the Mayor of Lynn's been behind us, just like the previous mayor, Mayor Judy, was behind us when this. So we get great community service from the city of Lynn and from that council and from the councilors and all the ward councils and everything. You know, they all
What
jump
about
on
the
board.
surrounding towns? Do they participate at all?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes,
good.
they do.
Yeah, we're going to have a big contingent from and it really, I mean, last time it was every single town had people down here. It was really something else. I mean, you would expect, everyone said it was a parade in Lynn, so you expect it just to be, some people would wonder if it would just be a Lynn-focused parade.
Right.
It really was so big, it didn't have, you had everyone from Lynn plus everyone else. It was really incredible.
Right. Let's talk about your office for a while. Is there anything else you want to say about the parade? No, and we can get back to it. But
Sure.
Your office provides great service to veterans.
Hope so, yeah.
Why don't you explain what you do, what the office does?
What our office does, it's a Lynn Department of Veteran Services. What we do, we're tasked under Massachusetts general law with being at the local level to serve veterans and their families. And I've been there now going on about 15 years. And I'm proud of what we do. We don't have a big office, but we do a lot. I would say that Mary Cronin LaPresti has been there for many years. Many people would know her. Jeffrey Hollett works for us.
Mary Cronin, sister of the legendary Fred Cronin.
Right. And or
And
maybe he's the
others.
brother of the legendary Mary Cronin. I'm sure we'll find out. But I will tell you this, in my eyes, and Freddie's awesome too.
No, I get it.
But
yeah.
I'll tell you, but I learned on.
She's great.
Well,
I've known Mary since she
Oh,
was...
absolutely. No, you guys, and I'll tell you, but that's the kind of service we hope you get in our office. It's the point of having, under mass law, like no other state in the country, we have veterans at the local level serving other veterans. And I think that is what separates Massachusetts from other states, is that you have so many, you don't always have to go to the JFK building. You don't always have to go into Boston.
That's intimidating by itself.
And it just, it's something,
into Boston.
it is, and some people just won't go because they had a bad experience, or it's too long, they don't want to get on the train. And even if they end up having to go there, eventually we work with them, we make sure they know what they're running into.
If they don't go, they lose out on a lot of services.
Well, that's the big...
And I know people do that.
Yeah, that's a big
And
thing. And I would say if you're a veteran now watching and you think there's some...
So what services can you
so
hook a veteran up
we
with?
help people get into the VA healthcare system. We do VA disability claims. We do, we have a lot of what we do is we have a short-term aid program for needy veterans and their families, which is significant. It's life-saving benefits. So we help, like everyone, when they talk about, Massachusetts was trying to end veterans' homelessness. We did it here in Lynn. We worked closely with the Housing Authority. We partnered well with them. But we put a lot of what we leveraged the resources we had, and federal resources to get people off the street. And I think not only that, we keep people off the street with some of those benefits. Some of your seniors, we can help people who are under 200% of the poverty level, which is about, just point blank, if you're a veteran or the widow of a veteran and you're making about $2,000 a month or less and you don't have much in the way of savings, give us a call. There may be some benefits for you. If you're a veteran who is, and those are some of the best things to do, because you help people, they've worked for a living their whole life. They've done nothing wrong. Some of them just outlived their savings.
Right.
What I would say too, if you're a Vietnam veteran, we talk about it all the time, how we don't want to forget Vietnam veterans as they as they retire. Because I think so much is going on with returning veterans, we want to be helped, but I think we have to remember that Vietnam veterans, some of the medical issues they deal with are directly related to Agent Orange. And some of them, because they just go on with...
That they got when they were in Vietnam.
Correct. So if you're, for example, if you have type 2 diabetes and you stepped foot in Vietnam, that's service connected. And it may sound, and many Vietnam veterans don't know that because they've just gone on living their life. And so it's not too late to come get help. It's not too late for us to get you to go talk to someone who can not only get you some medical attention, but some resources that might compensate you for what you've been suffering through all these years. And as always, I think having someone at the local level to come talk to, someone you know or you may know. I mean, I have people come in all the time that know Mary, know me, know our families, and I think it does help.
By the way, Mike's father was the legendary Jim Sweeney, Vice President of Value Local 201.
He was, and you know, I think like a lot of people, John said, when your parents, you know, he taught me right and wrong, in a lot of ways, and I think that and that some people need help, and I think that doesn't mean that they've done anything wrong. They're just in a bad spot, and I think that's what we do, and I'm proud. And I would going back to Mary and the tradition of the office has been that way for many years. I'd like to take credit for that culture, but it was there when I got there. Just happy to keep it going.
Okay.
I think one of the things, Jim, that you got to know what Mike was talking about is the VA in Lynn clinic is probably one of the best places anybody can go.
Up on Boston Street.
On Boston Street. They have a doctor there, Dr. O'Neill, who works with post-traumatic stress with people like myself and other guys. And I think people need to know that that's out there for them to go there. So if they go to Michael can set up appointments for them and go, because post-traumatic stress is a serious, serious issue today with veterans. And Lynn probably has one of the best doctors and best facilities in there to help you mentally, physically, and a lot of other things. They can help you right there in Lynn with a lot of things. I think people need to know that.
Yeah, and John's being smart to bring that up, because I think people think they have to go to Boston just to get the help, and they really don't. Because we have that clinic in Lynn. It's down on Boston Street across.
Congressman Taney got that.
He did, and that was it was one of those. It was, to his credit, we all worked together on that, and
right.
Someone who was because he listened to the community on it, and I give him a lot of credit. And he fought like hell for us.
Dickens.
Yeah, I felt like hell for Hurricane, like I said. But what I will say is that, it wasn't when people who were involved in it at the time. Pete Capano was heavily involved in trying to keep it here, and I'll tell you, that clinic John's talking about, they've expanded it in size, and everyone sees that. When they were talking about closing that clinic 10 years ago, and this is run by the VA,
right.
They had great ideas that they were going to take it out somewhere else, and we fought and we kept it, and it's a real success story. 10 years ago, there were about 2,000 people signed up to use that clinic. Today, there are 3,000.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And in an era where you see veterans' numbers going down, that tells you why that is a real success. And John, thank you for bringing that up, because I think veterans should know that while not everything is in Lynn, they can get taken care of very well there, and it's easier to get into the VA these days.
That's a really good point. Post-traumatic stress disorder, you get it in a war, like Vietnam. You get it for other reasons, sexual abuse and so forth. But a lot of times, people repress it. They just put it out of their mind. I got to go on with my life, and I don't want to deal with this.
Right.
But then something happens. You know, there's a death in the family, a car accident, or just some other traumatic event, and it revives the PTSD. So it's really great that you brought this up, and it's great that Dr. O'Neill is providing this service at the clinic, because the effects of PTSD are unbelievable. I mean, anxiety, depression, agoraphobia, on and on and on.
And if I could say one more time for anyone who is suffering from that, it'll help your family. If you don't want to do it for yourself, if you don't feel you can do it for yourself, we all know people who they don't have relationships with their children, or it's not just, if you're not going to do it for you, do it for them if you can, because I think you see people, and going back to it's never too late, and I think, I see young guys in my office. I had a veteran in my office this week in tears. He just doesn't know where to go.
Right.
And it's not a sign of weakness to go get help.
Right. I represented a guy. He was a Marine, and a Vietnam guy, and this was like about 10 years ago. and he got into an accident, and he had repressed all this PTSD stuff. He got into an accident. All of a sudden, he started sleeping downstairs. You could hear the rain on the roof. It reminded him of guard duty.
Yeah, but that's
So
what we do, and that's one of the things about bringing everyone together. This parade is a good example. The men and women who've had to suffer with that,
Right.
they don't want anything. They don't want any. They want respect more than anything. And that's what this, going back to bringing it quickly, the services we provide, hopefully, and this parade, it all kind of, there is a theme through it, that we're showing them the respect that they've earned.
And by the way, these symptoms are for families too, so that if the veteran doesn't say anything himself or herself, the family can bring it to somebody's attention.
Yeah. Often the spouse is a canary in the mine.
Yeah.
You think everything's going well, and
Right,
and if you're
right.
lucky enough to have someone with you to tell you that, no, this isn't you, you have to get right.
Yeah. Okay, anything else? We're going to have to wrap this up.
Okay, the only thing else we wanted to say is that we hope everybody's watching this program. It can help us out in any other way they can. If they want to donate, we greatly appreciate all our donations. They can go to Mike Sweeney at the VA in Lynn, which would be great, or they can contact Mr. Dave Solimini, who was huge and just never stops working for us right around the clock to help do this parade. He's an amazing, wonderful friend and wonderful
I refer
guy.
to David as the most generous man in Lynn.
He's
Because he's everywhere when
It's hard to
talks
dispute, yeah.
giving up
I
money.
travel with David sometimes, and he takes me to places that I don't even believe that I'm walking into. And the charity he does work is just amazing what he does anyhow. He's just an amazing gentleman.
And, anyone who's looking for updates on it, we're on Facebook, facebook.com/LynnVets.
Yeah.
You can see you can get updates on it, how to get tickets, how to. So it's facebook.com/LynnVets. If I don't plug it like that, my wife tells
And
me I
we'll
made a
try to
mistake.
have your picture in the item tomorrow.
That would be
That
fantastic.
will explain the show. I mean, just
Oh, that'd be
mention
great.
the,
Thank you, Joe.
Oh, that'd
the
be wonderful.
times
Thank
for the
you.
show. Yeah.
No, and I think it's going to be a great time. More than anything, it's a good cause. It should be a fun night. Be a fun night.
Good. And thank you for your service to the
thank you for
people of Lynn and to the country, both of you. Yeah,
Well, thank
it's
you for
great
having
service.
us.
Yeah.
Thank you
okay.
so much.
All right. So I think that's it. We should continue to.